Hey guys, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. So, in this episode of Review Flicks, we're going to be talking about the continuing trend of taking public domain figures and turning them into horror icons. And specifically, we're going to be talking about Peter Pan being adapted into this crazed horror movie. So, if you are new around here, consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the movie and streaming news we have going on this channel. And with that down, we're going to be jumping into this article here from comicflicknews.com. So, Peter Pan horror film details, with director hinting at a dark Tinkerbell twist. So, get a sneak peek at the upcoming horror comedy film, Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare. So, director Scott Jeffrey, known for his work on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, is back with another chilling adaptation, Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare, as classic children's characters enter the public domain. So, a sneak peek at this horror comedy has been revealed, featuring concept artwork showing a darker version of Peter Pan. Jeffrey describes the plot as a blend of switchblade romance and the black phone. Additionally, he unveils the twisted portrayal of Tinkerbell as a drug addict, adding a sinister twist to the beloved character. So, in that first paragraph there of kind of describing this movie as a plot blend between switchblade romance and the black phone, and Tinkerbell being a drug addict, I mean, what are we even doing at this point? Tinkerbell as a drug addict, like, what? This sounds insane. But guys, so it says it's going to be a blend of switchblade romance and the black phone. So for those of you who don't know, we're going to go over and quickly check out the descriptions to those two movies and see if it can give us a better indication as to what we can expect going forward in this Peter Pan kind of horror film. So let's jump over to Switchblade Romance first and read the description and see what it has to say about that. So landing over here on the IMDb page for Switchblade Romance, the plot says Alexia travels with her friend Marie to spend a couple of days with her family at their farm in the country. They arrive late and are welcomed by Alexia's father. Late that night, a sick, sadistic killer breaks into the farmhouse, slaughters Alexia's family, including their dog, and kidnaps Alexia. Marie hides from the criminal and tries to help a terrified hysteria Alexia chase the maniac and discover his identity in the end. So that's one of the movies that is going to be kind of playing off in this Peter Pan movie, a sadistic killer who kidnaps somebody and then kills her family. I mean, that sounds, the premise itself sounds absolutely insane. And if that's going to be kind of part of the Peter Pan movie, then man, we're in for a crazy, crazy story. But let's go over to the Black Phone, quickly read the synopsis for that movie as well. That will give us an even better indication as to what we can expect going into Peter Pan. So, landing over here on the Black Phone IMDb page, the storyline is a shy but clever 13-year-old boy who is abducted by a sadistic killer and trapped in a soundproof basement where screaming is of no use. When a disconnected phone on the wall begins to ring, he discovers that he can hear the voices of killers' previous victims. So, the common sort of plot thread between these two movies seems to be that there's some sort of like sadistic killer, who's going around basically kidnapping children. That seems to be a common thread throughout these movies. And if that's going to be in the Peter Pan movie, which it obviously is, Peter Pan's going to be kidnapping the children, then it sounds absolutely just crazy. Peter Pan's going to be this crazed maniac who kidnaps people, probably ends up slaughtering a bunch of people as well. But if these two movies that we just read are anything to go by, then we're going to be in for something absolutely insane, off the chain, unhinged. And this movie is going to be just nothing like we've ever seen before when it comes to Peter Pan. But let's hop back over to the article and keep reading and see what we can learn about this upcoming Peter Pan movie. So, landing back over here on the article. Obviously, we had this bit at the bottom as well where it says Tinkerbell as a drug addict, adding a sinister twist to the beloved character. I mean, seeing Tinkerbell hooked up on drugs, I mean, like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to say right now. Like, I'm kind of just, losing the will to live a little bit, I guess. So, quote, "It's a nasty, violent, and incredibly dark movie. Tinkerbell is not what you think. In our version, she is hooked on heroin and convinced it's pixie dust." What? Does she just, like, find a jar of, like, what she thinks is pixie dust that someone swapped it out with, like, heroin or something, and she gets hooked on it? And she becomes this crazed, like, heroin kind of maniac. Like, I can't even picture it. Like, I'm trying to mentally picture what that looks like, and it's kind of hard to kind of conceptualize what that is. But I'm definitely there for it, man. This movie is going to be silly, crazy, humorous, and I just want to see what they do with it. So we have this concept art here for what Peter Pan's going to look like. So if we go up to the top of the article here, as you can see, we've got this classic iconic kind of image of Peter Pan. You know, he's on top of the roof of where he gets the children. He's obviously in the moonlight. He's kind of silhouetted out, but you can see him on top of this kind of rooftop here. The window for the kids' room is just down here, I believe. I can't remember. I haven't seen the movie in years, but I believe, you know, like Wendy's room is down here somewhere. And if we go back down to this picture, you can see it's a classic take on that image we just looked at. But obviously he looks a lot more grotesque. He looks like a goblin almost. He's got these massive kind of claws, sharp kind of daggers for fingers, all these tattered clothes, and you can see his eyes. One of his eyes looks like it's bulging out, and this kind of pose of his hand kind of creepily reaching over. It looks really, really creepy, and to be a child and see that on the outside of your window would be pretty terrifying, to be fair. But I like this image here. I can't wait to see, you know, a first trailer, a first poster. I can't wait to see the design in its final form, because this looks pretty menacing here. So, quote, "I'm taking inspiration from French cinema. While I prep for this movie," Jeffrey said, "the film will be incredibly tense following Wendy as she tries to track down her brother, Michael, who has been abducted by Peter Pan." So yeah, there we go. So that's the common thread between those two movies that we read about earlier, you know, The Black Phone and Switchblade Romance. Both of those films, have a common kind of thread where, you know, people are being kidnapped or abducted. And obviously there's going to be a lot of that going on in this Peter Pan movie. Peter Pan's going to abduct the children. And what's going to happen to them is anybody's guess. But it's going to be something pretty crazy from what this movie sounds like. So, the anticipated schedule for Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare sets filming to commence in May 2024, aiming for a Halloween release of the same year. Okay, so we're actually getting the film this year around Halloween, which is kind of crazy. So they're going to be filming it in May and then releasing it in October. So what's that? June, July, August, September. So that's only going to be about 4 or 5 months post-production on this movie. But I guess if they're going to go down the route of not using many visual effects, then I guess, you know, it's going to be a cheap budgeted movie. There's not going to be a massive load of kind of post-production to do on it. And if they're going to keep it relatively cheap, kind of like Pooh, Blood and Honey, then I guess, you know, the post-production is not going to take that long. But the fact that we're going to get it this year around, you know, Halloween is super exciting. We haven't got that long to wait. And guys, if you're looking for a film to watch this year on Halloween, then there you go. You've got some Peter Pan abducting children. So something to look forward to. So joining them are Peter D'Souza, Figony as Michael Darling, and Charity Case, known as RuPaul's Drag Race, as James. Stay tuned for further announcements as additional cast members are revealed. Yeah, guys, so make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to stay up to date with all of this kind of horror news going on around these classic Disney characters. Anytime we get any updates, I'll make sure I put it on the channel. So I'll keep you guys well informed as to more updates with not just this movie, but all the other kind of Disney horror movies that are set to come. And it's going to be absolutely crazy to be a Disney fan, that's for sure. So, a horror cinematic universe. Yeah, this is where we're going. This is going to be off the chain. So, prepare for a twisted cinematic universe as the creators reveal Peter Pan, Neverland Nightmare, as the latest installment, following the spine-chilling success of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Guys, if you've still not seen Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, make sure you go and check it out. It is ridiculous and over the top. You know, you've got a life-size Winnie the Pooh character and Piglet running around, you know, killing people. It's kind of absolutely crazy, but it's just funny as hell. You know, if you've got a spare afternoon or a spare couple of hours, do yourself a favor and watch it because it's really funny. So, this eerie universe will expand to include other horror parodies like Bambi the Reckoning. Bambi the Reckoning, that sounds pretty scary. Pinocchio Unstrung. Similar to Marvel's Cinematic Universe, these characters may eventually unite in a crossover film that individual horror parodies. Additionally, a sequel to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is underway, boasting a substantially higher budget fueled by the financial triumph of its predecessor. Yeah, the budget is something like 10 times what it was on the first movie. And, you know, the profitability of the first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey was absolutely crazy. They made shit tons of money. So they're going to go for a bigger production. And hopefully make more profit. It's going to be, you know, the costumes look like they've got sort of higher quality costumes. They're probably going to do a lot more post-production, make sure the quality's a bit higher. Now they've got a bigger budget. And I can't wait to see what they do with it. But the fact that we could get a cinematic universe with these kind of public domain figures is crazy. we could get Bambi, and we could get Pinocchio as well. And we could get all these horror icons kind of crossing over into this kind of horror universe. And that would just be absolutely crazy. But if it's done well and people enjoy it and it's profitable, then I say go for it, because it's something unique, something we haven't seen before. And, you know, just reading the synopsis to this Peter Pan movie alone, I'm just like, you know, I don't know what we're doing anymore. But it sounds funny. So I can't wait to see what they do with it. It's going to be crazy. While a specific premiere date for Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare is still pending, fans can anticipate its release during the Halloween 2024 season. In the meantime, dive into the chilling precursor, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, available for streaming now on Peacock. So there you go, guys. If you want to watch Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, it's on Peacock. It's available there if you guys want to watch it. Or I'm sure you can find a copy of it online somewhere. But yeah, this set to be crazy, a horror cinematic universe. That just, you know, I can't even conceptualize what that is. But the fact that it says this, Tinkerbell is not what you think. She's hooked on heroin and convinced it's pixie dust. I'll leave you with that thought. That's pretty damn funny. But this movie is set to just be crazy. Peter Pan abducting people. We've got a drug-fueled Tinkerbell. And I'm sort of losing the will to live. But at the same time, it's so funny taking these classic icons and turning them into these kind of deranged characters. I'm so there for it. But guys, jump into the comment section. Let me know what you think about this movie. What do you think about the synopsis? And, you know, does it sound like something you want to watch this Halloween? Because it's definitely coming out this year. And also, what do you think of a potential horror cinematic universe of these different characters like Bambi, Pinocchio, Peter Pan, Winnie the Pooh, all teaming up for this big horror kind of cinematic universe? I think it sounds nuts. Can't wait to hear what you have to say, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.